This is Wes with Bikes and Boobs. Um, I really haven't done anything on YouTube here, so I thought I would try something a little different. I don't really do the moto vlog thing, but I figured I would try uh, showing pictures from my last adventure and talking about my last adventure, kind of recapping it. So if you see a picture in here of yourself, hit me up and I can send you the photos. But without further ado, let's get into it. So this last weekend, I recently decided to take a little trip. Just need some content, you know, women with bikes, pretty basic. Kind of, put my name out there more. So I went to a different event uh, instead of Rumble at the Reeve. I think it's pronounced Reeve. Um, so I rode down there on Thursday night or Thursday evening. I don't know. I rode down in the morning. What am I talking about? And it was a campsite. Um, I'm not gonna say the name of it just because I didn't have a good time. Um, and I don't want to badmouth it. Everybody there was super nice. The camp hosts were super nice. I just didn't want to. I just didn't have a. It wasn't my scene. It wasn't my type. So I went down there. Spent a couple nights down there, and kind of checked out the area. Nothing too special. It was fun. I checked out a couple events. Had some halfway decent meals, but either way, I was sitting there one night, or the second night, last night I was there, and I was just thinking like, I'm really not having a good time here. This really isn't my thing. I think I'm just ready to move on, go on to my next event. And I had a friend who was at a different event, like an hour and a half away. Um, so I thought I would try to get there early and surprise her and try to enjoy this other event, Rumble at the Reef. And so it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I decided, all right, I'm ready to go. So I was up all night. I had not slept at this point. I just started packing everything. Mind you, I'm just doing this all on my motorcycle. I didn't, I'm not far from the first person to do it, obviously. Excuse me. And so broke down my tent, packed everything up, took a shower, and it was about 4 o'clock. I think I left in the morning, and I was pretty warm when I left. I was wearing jeans, my leather vest, and a lighter hoodie, and my helmet. Then I took off. I got about 25 miles, and it was freezing cold because I kept going through some thick fog, and my teeth were chattering. I was so freaking cold. So I pulled into a truck stop, TA truck stop. Never heard of it prior to this, and pulled in there, and I noticed this guy walking around in a black trench coat and a black fedora, and I don't really think anything of it. It's like, well, whatever. But I take my helmet off and I hear him talking to himself. So at first I thought maybe he was on the phone, but then I kind of noticed like his hands were free, waving around. Then he's talking about her laundry, something about her laundry. I'm like, okay, this guy needs to be on meds. Went inside the truck stop, got some coffee, and I talked to the cashier. I'm like, hey, is it all right if I stay in here and warm up a little bit and stay away from Mr. Crazy over there? He's like, yeah, if that guy like bothers anybody or you see him, like, he told me like they were cleaning the women's room, that the restroom, and he like went in there saying he forgot his phone. It's like, well, I hope your phone's not in the women's restroom, or you forgot. Like, what were you doing in there? Anyway, so the cashier said, yeah, if you need to warm up, there's actually a truckers lounge in the back that you can go and chill out for a little while and warm up. I said that would be awesome. So I go back to the truckers lounge, and this is like, I never knew there was a truckers lounge before. I didn't want to invade somebody else's space, especially truckers. You know, they're working. They they're I don't want to mess up their routine because they're actually working and doing what they need to do, and I'm just on my bike having fun. But there was like one other guy in there, and these were like reclining lazy boys, basically. It felt like a little movie theater. They had like two little, they had, well, not little, they had two bigger size TVs. One of them was like Animal Planet, and the other one was like the Bernie Mac show, at least at the time. So I sat down, plugged in my phone so I could charge a little bit, and sipped on my coffee. I leaned back, and next thing you know, I was like asleep for like an hour, which I definitely needed it because I was running on obviously 0 hours of sleep at this point. So I woke up, sun was up a little bit more. Figured, oh, it's probably at least a little warmer out now. So uh, gathered my stuff, went back out, got on my bike, and I booked it to Reeve, Wisconsin. It was a very enjoyable ride, just riding with the sun coming up. Um, through little, most of it was, part of it was, the first part was freeway. And then obviously the closer I got to Reeve, which is just this like, I don't know if I was in the main part of town or not, but there was like nothing there. But anyway, going there was like, it just turned into into farmland, nice little curvy roads. It was beautiful area. But I show up in Reeve, and I don't even know if I'm like in a town to begin with. It's like, where the heck am I? I look around. There's like a town shop and a bar. So I'm like, okay, well, and then I kind of look. It's like, oh, the event doesn't start till 11. I'm there at like, what time was it? It was probably like 6 or 7 in the morning. So the closest like bigger town was New Richmond. So I went over to New Richmond, stopped at a gas station, a Quick Trip, which is very. If you're not from Wisconsin or the Midwest, you don't know how much we love our Quick Trips. Stopped at Quick Trip, grabbed some breakfast, some more coffee. I The sun was finally out and warming me up, thank God. I was still pretty cold at this point, but so like I said, grabbed a little breakfast, grabbed some more coffee, and I ended up spilling some of my coffee all over the tank of my bike. I took my hoodie, I rolled it up into like a pillow, and I laid behind my bike and just, I'd say, relaxed there for a good hour or so. Um, Once it got closer, I think the event started at like 11 o'clock, so I was there probably about till 10:30, and Reeve was about a half hour away, so made a couple calls, finished my coffee, got back on the bike, and went over to Reeve. Uh, got there, and now the sun was really beating. It was getting hot, which felt nice because, like I said, I had been freezing prior. So obviously the event was starting to kick off. I parked my bike, and then I realized they were doing a little bike show, and my bike being a and like anyway, hold on. So I decided to enter my bike into the bike show. It's like, why not? What have I got to lose? Nothing. So pretty much all the categories were like Harley Davidson, and I own a Triumph. Minus like, I think there was custom, and I think there was chopper, which mine is neither. It's a fairly stock Triumph Thunderbird. So I had to enter my bike into the category of Indian or other. And I parked in line. I looked at a couple of other bikes. At the time, both of the other bikes were Indians. One of them being like a 49 Indian. And I'm like, well, I've already lost because there's no way I am beating a 49 Indian with my 14 Triumph. But I noticed my friend there, who I came there to kind of surprise, and talk to her for a little bit. And I started walking around, checking out the different vendors. Um, After a little bit, I got really tired again. So I went out back. I grabbed my hoodie. I went out back of the shop there and decided to take. I napped for like, I felt like a couple hours. I don't know exactly. But boy, did it feel good, and I needed it. There was these people there with some puppies, and they one of them walked by me. I'm surprised the puppy didn't even sniff me. Maybe it did. I was just so out. But after I woke up from that, I was feeling really good. So went back to my bike, put my hoodie away, grabbed my camera, and I started going around taking pictures, chatting with people, making connections, which is I love to do. I love meeting other creators or other business owners, seeing what they have out there. And they're always super nice, willing to exchange information. And even if someone is doing something similar to what I am very happy to promote them and just give them a little bit of exposure on my page. Because I kind of, even though we're kind of in the same market, we're all in it together. You know, we're all enjoying the same thing. If it wasn't for people like us, especially a lot of these vendors, I haven't done much of the vendor thing yet, but if it wasn't for a lot of these vendors, like these events probably wouldn't happen as much. So I'm super grateful to see these people there. Um, oh, what was the one? What was her name? So there was American Creations spelled with a K. She was super nice. She had all sorts of like Harley stuff, but I think she makes like mugs and sells hats and shirts. She was super nice. There was I cannot remember the name of it. Unfortunately, I'll have it. I'll have it in the description. There were these. It was kind of the point of the whole thing was these people were doing an adoption for these puppies, and a lot of them were super cute because they were like some of them were pitties, and I have a soft spot for pitties myself. Um, then there was again I'll put it in. There was I have the card, but I don't have it in front of me. This shooting range, this indoor type shooting range, which was pretty cool. It wasn't a real shooting range. They used like fake guns, and it was just a nice long trailer. And it was like it was a simulator. That's what it was. It was a simulator. And so yeah, you'd simulate shooting in this trailer. It looked to me like they had fake Glocks, which were rigged up to, you know, feel more like a real gun. So I talked to the lady there. We had quite the good conversation. Super nice. They were from Hayward, Wisconsin. I'm hoping to see her again because I am a little bit of a gun enthusiast, and she was super nice. Oh, let's see. I know I have it here. I'm looking at my phone real quick. Well, I feel bad. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I just cannot. Um. Anyway, yeah, it was great talking to her, hearing her background. Um. And then, so not long after that, they started the award ceremony, and some of them were real cool. Like obviously, a lot of trophies were given out. One guy had like this black Harley with freaking turbo on it. It was it's like black and gold. That was a pretty cool bike. Oh, here it is. Here it is for her. Her name's Jenny, and she does the On Target Northwoods Defense. That's what it was. On Target Northwoods Defense. Yeah, super nice. I love talking to her. I like I said, I hope I see her again. Talk a little more. I did get a picture with her of her with my bike, and I got a picture of her in her range, which was super cool. So, yeah. So the award ceremony. Uh, I finally they got to after doing a few of them, they finally got to my category, the Indian or other bikes, and of course I didn't win a thing. I think there was a Honda and two Indians that won, but that I think that 49 Indian definitely won, which did not surprise me in the least. Which I was fine with. Didn't bother me. Um, so then there was an extra category which was longest distance ridden, and they narrowed it down to people who rode there for 100 miles or more, and it was me and one other guy, and I didn't catch his name, but he had it looked like an old school Sportster. So they're like, "Hey, where are you from?" He said, "I'm from Colby, Wisconsin." And they asked me where I'm from, and I said I'm from Eagle River, Wisconsin, and they couldn't tell which was further. And nobody had any reception out there. At least I didn't. And the guy's like, "Well, it took me like an hour to get here." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I drove from Eagle River down to Black River Falls, and then back up towards Reeve." So, and they were trying to figure it out. I'm like, "Well, Eagle River is like at least 3 hours away." Like, "Yeah, but we don't really know how long that is distance wise." I'm like, "Well, if I do 55 miles on average plus 3 hours, it's a little more than 100 miles." So, of course, when I left, anyway, I ended up, the guy just conceded. I won. Uh, so I was actually surprised that I won a trophy on my dirty Triumph that was all packed down with all my gear. Come to find out, though, I did talk to the guy a little bit. Nice guy. He was a super nice guy. Um, I think he had already won a trophy anyway, so everyone gets a trophy here, right? um, he he actually trailered his from Colby, and I rode mine starting in Eagle River down to Black River Falls up to Reeve, which I think, boy, I think I put on like close to 500 miles just in this trip alone, which isn't. I mean, some people that's just a day, but for me, I'm not used to. I don't. I want to start riding more. I want to start putting on that much. It'd be nice. My bike is not always the most comfortable of bikes because it's not a. It's a cruiser, but it's not like a bagger or anything like that. And I don't have cruise control. I have a throttle lock. That's about it. So things started winding down. I won my trophy. It's getting towards the end of the day. They were doing another event, but I wanted to get home because I had a 3 hour ride home. So I said goodbye to my friend, and I made some new friends there. So I'm super excited to talk to them again. And I loaded up my bike, got on the road, finally got my GPS to work, and it's about 176 miles to my house. So yeah, I do think I won that fair and square. Also, I rode my bike there, and he trailered. Not to sound like I'm better, I'm just saying. uh, and I booked it straight home, like no stops. I just was ready to sleep in my own bed, and it was overall it was a fun trip though. Uh, got home like 8 o'clock, a little bit before dark, so that was nice. I still got to come home, relax. And I actually had when did I got home on a Saturday, and I wasn't due back to work on Tuesday till Tuesday. So I actually had a couple days off after that, which was nice. Just a couple days to relax, clean my stuff up. But overall, it was a fun trip. I am. This was a pretty short trip overall. I do have a longer trip coming up here at the end of July. It is currently July 2nd. So July 2nd, 2026. But I'm really looking forward to my next trip. I'm hoping to get a lot more pictures. I am supposed to meet up with some cool people towards the end of the trip. The plan is to meet up with the Litas of Des Moines, Iowa. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to start my trip at the. I know I'm going backwards here. I'm starting my trip at the Midwest Chopper Show in Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. I'm going to go down. After that, I'm going to go down to Illinois, see some friends, see some family down there, and then head over to Des Moines. And I don't have any like super concrete plans while I'm there. So we'll see. I'm just kind of playing it by ear and try to have a good time. I think I took like a good week for that. So it should be fun. Mostly what I'm worried about is accommodations for the better part of it. One of the Litas did say I could crash at her place for a couple nights, which is super cool. Um, but we'll see. And I will take lots of pictures and see how that goes. Try to do another one of these slideshows. If this is my first one, so don't be too harsh in the comments, please. But you can listen to this either as a podcast if you want, or you can mute my voice and just watch the slideshow. But if there's anything you like, anything you didn't like, I do appreciate some constructive feedback. But until next time, thanks for listening, guys. We will talk to you later. Bye.